Through disaster. Every time I saw Holly's main street with the big Christmas tree in the center, Holly is Colorado's Christmas city, I fairly vibrated because of the grace that I received. We settled in, and suddenly Vacation Bible School was coming up. We built a trolley out of refrigerator boxes and a gallon of bright red paint. The kids had a blast, and the trolley was the focus of our float in the Holly Fair Parade. Sherry and I displayed 100 of our international activities at the Christmas program, and we took the youth to explore the missions and ministry going on in the big city of Denver. Meanwhile, I was publishing issues of Lodestar on my C64. A fellow from Australia figured out how to make a PC work as a hard drive for the Commodore 64. So I put together and sold a couple dozen of them, each loaded with over 200 issues of Lodestar. And thanks to my local PC guru, I began thinking about how I could improve the basic language of the C64. Commodore's built-in BASIC was ancient and had always been clumsy. Using a machine language module by Lee Novak called Mr. Mouse and my own coding, I added over 100 commands to Commodore's BASIC 2. Alan Reed from Ohio wrote a complete user's manual in full color to explain how .BASIC Plus worked. At 8 p.m. on Wednesday, March 28, 2007, a tornado roared through Holly. I was at a Bible study in Bristol, but we got the news from an emergency responder in the class. The road home was closed for emergency vehicles, so I had to wait at a convenience store in Grenada for a couple of hours. The devastation was mind-numbing, and I spent some time trying to find Sherry. Finally, she called me on my cell phone. The twister cut almost straight north through town and came directly up our street. Sherry, who was home with back pain, heard the roar like a freight train. The lights went out, and she heard 2 loud bangs from outside. Windows were smashed inward as she felt her way to the basement stairs. By the time she was at the bottom, silence resumed. People were walking around, calling out for survivors. Early the next morning, people were out with farm trucks and front loaders clearing away the rubbish. The path of the storm turned just south of our house, leaving it standing but badly damaged. For my part, I put a sign on the church marquee that read, "We're Holly, we're okay." A number of first responder organizations arrived, as did the TV satellite trucks. The one group that stayed was the Salvation Army, which served free meals for nearly 2 months at the Senior Center. April 1st was Palm Sunday, and our bishop came down to share in the worship service. As the representative of UMCOR, United Methodist Committee on Relief, I served on the local recovery committee and distributed $10,000 in aid to suffering families. Our parsonage had $127,000 worth of damage, so we lived in a fifth-wheel trailer in the backyard for 6 months during repairs. People who had not spoken to each other for years sat together at the senior center and began conversations. Our shared disaster brought the community together until the insurance checks arrived. In November of 2008, we still had unopened boxes of stuff in the garage. When the district superintendent called to tell me of a church in Wyoming that was needing a pastor, we decided it was a good time to move to Sundance.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to click like and subscribe to hear more of Dave's life in music.